Hello and welcome back. You're here with the Lone Wolf once again. I recently started a new job in an unfamiliar city, and I'm in the process of regularly socializing with my new workmates, one of who is a similar age to me. Now this guy has a long-term girlfriend. They've just actually bought a puppy together, and we all know that a puppy is a precursor to a child, and that's a fact. They seem to be pretty established, and they've been dating each other a long time. He himself has a couple of side things going on. He appears to be quite well-rounded and friendly, with some similar interests. But I wouldn't call us fast friends necessarily. There's kind of an edge there. With that said, though, he has gone out of his way to welcome me into the group and invite me out on a number of different occasions for food, beer and music. So fair play to him for that. Now, at one of these social gatherings, he was there with his long-term girlfriend, and I introduced myself, had some pretty good discussions with the pair of them, and they actually offered to drop me home afterwards, which I really appreciated because it was a half-hour drive away. What I didn't expect, though, was an unsolicited message on social media from this dude's girlfriend the next day. Now, bearing in mind this is somebody I just met the night before. The message was trying to set me up with her best friend, a 30-year-old teacher. Now, she said we would have a lot of similar interests and would get on, which I find amusing, because she knows nothing about me, my personality, my politics, my interests and hobbies, my virtues or values. She met me once. She talked to me for about half an hour. I showed a close friend the messages and he was like, "Bro, they stink of desperation, of trying to offload a Hail Mary pass in the fourth quarter of the game. It's the long ball up front in injury time for the soccer fans." I mean, in one sense, I kind of feel sorry for her, to be honest, the best friend, the girl. Because she probably is a good person, with a kind heart and all of this. But I haven't worked up to this point to settle for someone my own age who is on the clock, if they want children. No, I'd much rather date the hypothetical 25-year-old. I mean, I'm in good shape, have a decent career behind me with side stuff on the go. I'm in my early 30s, with no attachments, and complete and utter freedom to move cities or even countries if I want. When I was in my early 20s, women my own age were being hyper-selective. And now those same women are settling for people they wouldn't give the time of day back then. And now, guess what? It's my turn to be selective. Or to simply quit the game altogether and play something else. That's the power of freedom, and we need to stop listening to what society, the cultural zeitgeist, is telling us. So, he actually invites me out to... He has a country home that his family owns. And he's invited me out there to spend the weekend. There's like a lake nearby and all of this stuff, so... It just seems a bit weird to me. It's not something that I'm used to. But him, his girlfriend, and her best friend are going to be there. And now she already knows that I've flipped her off. I basically said I'm not into her. I don't really want to go on a date with her. I need to be attracted. I put it in better terms than that. But if I go, then that's going to cause, some awkwardness, or if I kind of rebuke any sort of advances that might happen, I'm going to be isolated and on my own, especially if I get driven there. There'll be no way out. I'm in a disadvantageous position. And if I alienate this woman, I'm going to be completely lambasted. I'm going to be shut out by the three of them because no one's going to take my side, right? Because I'm the newcomer. But on the other side, by flipping off his invitations, I'm starting to feel like an ungrateful, antisocial, aloof outcast. I mean, again, if I take her up on the offer and date her friend, if it doesn't work out, or I try one date and we don't hit it off, anything I say in the negative will get back to my colleague's girlfriend, alienating my new social network in a new city, and could jeopardize matters depending on how well she takes being snubbed. It could end up being an unrivaled mess. And there's no way he and his girlfriend will side with me under any circumstance. I get the feeling this guy if I rebuke him again and sort of blow him off again, that he's going to think I'm not into women at all. And that isn't the case. I've said several times on this channel that I'm open to dating, but on my terms. I will not be pressurized into cohabitation and definitely not marriage. Certainly not in the West, and that's a fact. But him thinking I'm not into women at all from this recent dialogue, or thinking I'm weird, would be like thinking I'm a vegan for not wanting to eat a shoddy cut of braising steak. We were leaving work at a normal time last month, about 5 p.m. And he asked me what I do in the evenings, almost as if, because I don't have a girlfriend, I must therefore have some kind of sketchy, dodgy, seedy existence. You wouldn't ask a married guy, "Hey bro, why are you married?" Even though I'd often like to in the West. But the social order seems to dictate that single dudes in their 30s must somehow be broken or faulty or busted, to the extent that folks like this try to fix said busted individuals. They're doing their civic duty by trying to pair people up who are single in their 30s. I've had criticism before from very close friends that I've known for 20 years, that I'm picky or have very high standards. And I'd respond that, no, I'm just highly selective. I have big screening criteria. If you're going to come into my life, it has to mutually benefit the pair of us. And it has to be rewarding, because my time is too expensive. I realize how valuable my time is now, how quickly it's used up. You know, your 20s go by like in a blur, and it's easy to waste that time. And I'm not going to waste any more time. I don't want anybody around that's going to give me a headache or aggravation on a regular basis, or mess with the physical and psychological order I have in my place of residence and the environment that I inhabit. Therefore, I'm highly cautious about the relationships that I foster. I have to respect the person, male or female, and find mutual value in carrying on a relationship or friendship with that person. Now, this girl could be good fun, witty, humorous, and all of those things. We could vibe and have similar interests. But on a fundamental level, I'm just not attracted to her superficially. And part of me does feel sad for her. And although it might not necessarily be the case, it just seems like she is in that fourth quarter and scrambling for a passing opportunity. I've seen this happen with close family members. A cousin of mine dated a bunch of dudes in her 20s. She was good looking, you know. One was a footballer in the minor leagues here in the UK. A bunch of them were good-looking guys with a lot going for them. But they probably had options, right, and exercised them. She had some high-flying jobs and did well for herself, but when she got to 30, it was like someone lit a fire under her ass, as if she realised she might miss the boat to get married, have kids, and start a family. She floundered around on Match.com and eventually got settled with her current husband, and they now have a happy family, and that is her major, if not only, priority in her life. But she could have easily missed the boat. It might not have been his intent, but I felt like my colleague was scoping me out, as if I have a problem or something. I have that many things to be getting on with in my personal time after work, whether that's writing, working on side projects, music, learning new stuff, planning investments, or hell, just sitting back and watching Netflix, or the game. He can't see past his girlfriend and his new dog to what he probably used to have as a younger man, the unrivaled freedom and lack of rigid commitment to the will of another. I was speaking to a girl at work the other day who also lives alone in the city, and we were both in agreement that once you've lived alone for a substantial period of time and got over the initial quiet and isolation, it really can be absolutely fantastic, and you miss it when it's gone. I'll actually include a link to a video that I did on this very topic. To sum up, I'd really like to hear what you guys think about all this and whether you can relate to similar experiences in your own lives. And hopefully it's not just me that feels this way. If you're single, in your 30s as a man, and you're pursuing goals and excellence, you hold the cards, you haven't got a disease, enjoy your life, just do you. That's it for today. Thanks for listening as always. Thanks for all of the comments, new subs in the last week or two. I'll see you next time.